Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Age Mythology Replay. Spawn on the left side as the Grey Odin, we got Marshall Rainer, right? And spawn on the right side as the blue Loki, we got Ingeborg. I butchered that name well enough. When it comes to these two civilizations, or major gods, are both, of course, Norse. Odin's course is the focus of Great Hall units. Gathers and doors hunt faster. Great Hall units generate more favor. Human and heroes generate human, but hit points generate human blood, and you get 2 free scouts. As opposed to Loki, focus on myth units. Damaging enemies units can cause myth units spawn. Some soldiers contribute 10%. Heroes use the 50% of damage dealt. So it's no longer a chance factor. It is a damage-based factor. Human soldiers and heroes do plus 10% counter damage, so they do more of their designated role as their counter. Probably butchered that well enough. Seeing Odin tends to focus on Great Halls, I think that Erdman be good for him. Buildings construct 10% faster, ox cars cheaper, and transferring doors and gathers into berserks are 50% cheaper. Of course, it gets an upgrade to temporarily Mother Nature's trees, typically grants you vision nearby one of their units. Very handy indeed. Spy got summoned out somewhere, and of course for Odin, he does, of course, by the Raidens, and the Hell's Mark increase berserk speed and bonus damage versus myth units. Let's see, where did that spy get summoned? This map is a hybrid map, so perhaps we'll see some fishies being collected from both players. Got the temple going on up for Odin. For him, we got Heimdall, which gives access to Undermine, and Hare, a good force multiplier. Undermine is an excellent god power. And not so great upgrades here. Faster build and training rate, or not even training rate, and research rate is okay. And of course got more Sentry Towers, hit points of walls a little bit better. Lucy's going for Freyja. Freyja does offer the Forest Fire God Power, Valkyries, Cavalry speed and hit points, and hero hit points enabled to Godi earlier. And looks like Loki is eyeing for Forseti, which does provide the Healing Spring Troll, Hall of Thanes, Dwarven Breastplates, and Cave Trolls. I'm not sure if I should really cover all that too much. Let me know if you guys want me to do a little in-depth analysis every single time, or sort of cover some of those aspects. One of the things, like, I tried to sort of just, how to put it, looks like the ox cart got spied. Interesting. Not realizing spy the ox cart makes sense as a unit. Because in the early eco phase, there's nothing much to talk about, but maybe I should not have times 2 speed and I can go a bit more in depth. Just things I'm just thinking about. Valkyrie now deployed onto the field. Of course, 1-3 Valkyrie. Number of fishing boats out at sea. Looks like this one managed to cover up the back ones and the front ones. Very nice. Looks like all of them being utilized. See the 3 baskets. Are they baskets or buoys? It looks like they are indeed buoys, because I think in the original version and Gold Edition, I always thought there were baskets. Like they set on baskets, somehow fish like that. But now, seeing that the newer versions, it actually does look like a buoy. I think one reason why it's easy to see that, because back then, back on my Windows 95 computer, I don't think the scroll wheels did not exist. My first mouse did not have a scroll wheel, so zooming in, zooming out was actually difficult and just something you avoided. Damn, I feel old now. The ball mouses didn't have scroll wheels, if I remember correctly. oh, they have the, what's the name of the connection? It's like a circle with a little part of it being flat. Not USB. This is before USBs were standardized, or even... Yeah, USBs were like limited to like 2 ports per computer, and they're a bit more of a nowhere near guaranteed. This Valkyrie here did take a fair amount of damage there, got a good number of units. 5 Herseers, 2 Berserks or Holzarks, 1 Throwing Axemen, 1 Raiding Cavalry, we got 7 Raiding Cavalry, and a Valkyrie. And it looks like blue is going for Erdman, Throwing Axemen, and Herseers. Generally, it's a good idea to go for Throwing Axemen versus Norse because most of the Norse units are infantry. And of course, a couple of cavalry units. Looks like blues push forward of various ships, longboat, dragon ship. You got the siege ship and the arrow ship. And the siege ship, of course, can outrange the docks. Got an arrow ship here. He does have 2 arrow ships to defeat 1 arrow ship. 2 beats 1. Of course, the siege ship is effective versus arrow ships. So got the hammer ship hammering away. It's hammer time. The arrow ships need to start retargeting towards a hammer ship because it has very little range armor. They don't get damage multipliers versus each other, they just simply have damage types that are not as easily resisted, if that makes any more sense. I missed this aspect. Looks like a little bit of poke there, nothing too significantly damaging. Blue did obtain some monkeys. They're free, they're not great, but they're free. It's just a little bit extra mass and damage just to cause some issues. More Throwing Axemen and some hammer ships. Over here we've got siege ship, hammer ship, siege ship, arrow ship. Of course, got the troll here. Ready to troll his opponent. Get trolled. I'm not going to stop with that joke. Loki could allow Healing Spring for these units, though only 1 Herseer appears to be wounded. I do hear the Valkyrie now healing up the units there, very nice. Though the Valkyrie herself is quite wounded. Got some copper upgrades for Loki. The Great Hunt has not been utilized. If there is none, Odin summon a small amount. Each age gets more powerful. I wonder how it scales. I think the scaling per age is actually something that was not upon release of the Retold edition. Because it's actually a really powerful god power in campaign. One thing I recommend for players who have trouble with the campaign, go for a Great Hunt. Don't go hunt that deposit, and then go for another Great Hunt just to get a lot of animals to eat.
Hver þar?
Dock receiving damage. Over here we do have this dock going down. Got these horses pushing forward. I think Loki will get at least 1 myth unit in this upcoming fight. I'm guessing it's going to be a Draugr. Does get some of those units there. And we are seeing forward watchtowers here. However, raiding cavalry going on a raid. And some of Gray's gathers are going down. Forest fire over here as well. Very nice. Immolating good number of Blue's forces. Gray will hold out over here. But let's take a look at the gatherers. We're going to have to keep an eye on the civilian population here. Blue's starting to withdraw there. These watchtowers not going too much. They're okay. They're not great, honestly. And looks like the first Smith unit was a Draugr. Feels like draw was always the first one. Maybe some sort of order to it. I don't know. The troll is trying to be a bit of a home wrecker. About being obtained there. Multiple forward housing by blue. And we got the Gray's fleet advancing. Blue's fleet is largely non-existent. Throwing Axemen does go down. We do have a pair of long houses now being established. And now Gray's military is larger, but we know Blue's gone for the copper upgrades, has copper medium. Well, these units do not have any upgrades, so Blue's force is smaller, but has a lot more quality to it. Hammerstick takes out that one. We got still Gray's fleet here. Blue is going for more throwing axemen, going to Troll's opponent, going for the cave trolls. These trolls are been boosted by the effects of 4chan. Dwarven breastplate, which will improve the Ulfsarks and the Erdmen. Which, okay, it says hack armor, not pierce armor. That's very important. Pierce armor upgrades you could just generally skip when fighting Norse. So, speaking of which, this copper shields probably could have been skipped, though the first upgrade's quite cheap, and there is some justification with trying to take less damage from watchtowers. But you can probably skip the bronze and definitely probably should skip iron pierce armor, unless he's fighting against a myth unit that really provides that. This dock has 2 fishing boats in there. Gray has aged up, got a mountain giant. And Gray also has 4 Valkyries. Blue does go for a forward hitting spring, very nice. That's why he kept hold of it. And Blue has enough of a fleet to defend himself now. Though Gray has reinforced officer and of course the Kraken. Blue needs a lot more gold to age on up, has enough food, but not too many villagers on food. I can see 4 collectors. Those are collecting these cows. Gray could try investing into another Kraken. Cost food and bit of favor. Now the hill fort being established here. Throwing axemen's getting some good damage there. Monkeys are advancing. Good number of cave trolls now on the field. A good number of them. 6 of them. The cave trolls could troll these throwing axes with some boulders. Blue's trying to fall back now. Raiding cavalry is still going to raid. I'm not sure how much effect they got. Right now, both the civilian counts are quite similar. Gray has expanded to these fish deposits. Has no dock for drop-off point. Right there would be quite nice. We got the trees. The trees over here are starting to speak Vietnamese. They're also here to support the raiding cavalry. They're more of a dirt cheap siege weapon, but I suppose anything can hit villagers. Exceeding damage at a slow attack speed, so they're not great. Actually, they're equal to the raiding cavalry in DPS versus villagers. So they're not bad either. There's a good number of those trees have gone down. Fort's gonna go on down. He does still have access to fire weapons, flaming weapons. And both of them has a sizable military force field. In fact, Gray has a larger population cap. Now they have the same population cap, so maybe Blue still just need to build himself. But either way, try and go for another hill fort. We got some Jarls being plural. Dark Age Jarls. Doesn't have medium Jarls yet. You have the battle boars now being blown in field. Bucking around. Blue does well with his flaming weapons, which would be a very powerful asset. Yeah, Gray is quickly disintegrating. While medium upgrades and heavy upgrades, you can measure how many you need. But when you're getting close to pop cap, and in this situation, Blue does have them. It gives him clear advantage. Raven throwing axes at ravens. That's probably not very a good idea. Have you tried throwing an axe? Let alone try to throw an axe at a bird. Not easy. You do have heavy throwing axemen, while still just Dark Age cavalry. Versus looks like a medium infantry for Blue, and no cavalry in the field. So it's a monkey though. A couple more longhouses being established now. Does manage to pick off one more villager there. Blue's down 23 villagers, which I'm not sure how. Man, that right there with the trees must have been a bit more work than I expected. Both players on quite low civilian populations. Though this number, I believe, does not count for all the fishing boats, which Gray does have a superior number of them. So that number up there is misleading. The trolls are going to get hit by some of the Herseers. We do have some Erdmen here, heavy Erdmen. Middle fort now being established. Let's see. Odin can bring in some more forest fire, walking woods, and has not gone for any great hunts. If he finds a livestock deposit like right here, he could try to start cultivating a bit of a herd there. He can start collecting up. See, each carib elk is 200, and there's 9 of them there. The walruses, there's 5 of them there, which one with 500. So the larger food deposit is the walruses. Now, since I believe they are hostile food deposits, they do get collected faster than not hostile. Oh, but here, siege weapons. Auto battering ram here. Of course, I got the siege ship there. Gray goes ahead and build a house there. Blue can be a bit of home wrecker. Gray's actually at pop cap as well, which is a bit of a problem. Handful of units will respond to these portal battering rams. Mountain Giant is going to be an important siege weapon in the near future if he wants to break this containment. The Jarls got trolled and prevented them from escaping. Gray's going to push forward to hit some of those fishing boats. And Gray's townsite is now under fire. In the middle of all this, you could go for the Walking Woods, not to help engage the force, but start engaging the siege weapon, the structure over there, which he is doing very good. You gotta plan to fight to win, and looks like Gray's starting to respond properly. Though the sounds has almost gone down, needs to focus on perhaps down this portal battering ram. Throwing axes do half damage, they will do good damage to it. Portal battering ram boys got pulled off, must have been box selected. The battle boar does go down there. Townsend does go down. Gray has plenty of resources. In fact, enough resources to age up. Was he aging up at the time? And I wasn't paying attention to that. Trolls being focused down by the Goatee. Does knock back the throwing axeman there. And a number of those watchtowers did go down, bring in the Walking Woods as a flanking force. The fight is slowly going in favor of Blue's favor, but Gray has reinforcements back here. And it looks like Gray will hold out, but he needs to get that town center rebuilt. He already has the town center rebuilt way down south. He is aged up to Tyre to give access to the Fenris Wolf Brood and the Thimblewinter. Looks like the Krakens are battling against each other, trying to determine who's the real Kraken and who's the real Kraken. Town center reestablished as well. So Gray actually has 2 town centers at the moment. Civilian count is in favor of Gray, and I believe Gray has more fishing boats at the moment. Blue does deploy another troll, so he'll have what, 3 trolls in the field. Does maintain control of this healing spring. Some old Sarks charge away forward. Got a handful of walking woods here. Didn't see when the Mount Giant went down, but it probably has gone down. Blue's Frost Giant there. Goes and snares one of the Dark Age Jarls. We do have the Salt Enophora, so he gets salted fish. Very Swedish of him. Or is it Sweden or Norway known for the, what is it called, Schrammenberg, where fermented fish in salt brine? I can't remember. And this upgrade is actually available to all the civilizations, not the Norse thing. Don't get me wrong with that. Let's see, you got the Call of Valhalla, improving Berserk's hit points by 10, and give you favor upon death, a bit of favor rebate. How did the music turn Japanese? This is double Norse. Thimblewinter is now available. Thimblewinter has been summoned. And remember, Gray does have a civilian advantage, so Blue losing some villagers would be very nice. Though this is a great way just to force his opponent back and be a bit more defensive. Because the Thimblewinter did actually get some damage on that hill fort a little bit. The Odin has claimed the healing spree, which is very important. Though it looks like Blue will resecure it relatively soon. Blue has resecured the healing spree. More woods are now walking. I suppose a dead man walking. Do have some more Jarls being revealed, Dark Age Jarls. And going for a champion infantry. That single battery ram still causing issues. And we still got the spy here. That spy ain't one of ours. Got an Oxless cart here. Blue's going for forward hill forts now. Raven's taking some damage there. I thought the Raven had less health, 40 health. All this strange precise amount of health there must be divisible for something. Maybe something to reduce his max health just ever so slightly. So the health regen doesn't make a difference when it's reconnaissing, reconnoitering areas. Blue's going for some more fishing boats. Blue has quite a bit of presence in Gray's base. Of course, Gray does have the age advantage. Blue's going for more portable battery rams, which is quite understandable. Here oh yeah, the unique myth unit, age 4 myth unit, the Jorman Elver. Which it appears features a high DPS myth unit. Does have a good amount of health to it. I really don't know all the differences between all the naval myth units. My apologies. Most time they're just like, oh, got a naval myth unit. It's just generally pretty good. This costs favor. It was actually getting a fair amount of damage onto that hero.
Tilbúin.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait, no, it does have 50% less damage. So 30 damage per shot against heroes is actually not too terrible. Now the town center being obtained by blue. This time with 4 town center. Still is on 1. This one's looks like never been built. Gold.
Hver er það?
Let's see. That gold deposit still exists in Blue's Sphere of Influence. This one still exists in No Man's Land. Gray's clean up the last of this one. So yeah, Gray's going to be running out of gold really soon. It doesn't have large stockpile. Large amount of units for forwarding, including portal battering rams and walking woods. Got champion throwing axemans. Of course, we'll rip apart those old Starks. We do now what's the called summery research, giving Erdman, the Spearmen, more bonus damage and extra damage. We also got some ballista here. It's like all the walking woods are no longer walking. Just like any tree should be doing, not walking. Town center there will be going down. Gray's making some good advancements, good recovery. But Blue still has a handful of units just being annoying. Blue is now taking advantage on the civilian numbers, but I think it's hard to tell with the fishing boats at this moment. Blue looks like has more naval presence. Can't say that means more fishing boats though.
Hver er það?
I thought I heard a camel, ox caravan, unless I'm mistaken. Maybe an ox cart being built. Loki has enough food to age up, needs a lot more gold. Definitely has technology in the form of the hill forts. Gray right now has plenty of wood and food, needs more gold. Speaking of which, that's the gold there. I see a whole bunch of. I saw a lot of gold in the minimap there, and stuff starting to disintegrate. So there must have been a good number of civilians went down right here. And I mentioned there's less civilians now. So Blue's doing a good job of counterattacking the gold deposits, keeping control of them. More walking woods being summoned, very nice. He's just trying to use this for siege weapons. And they're going straight for the town center there. Blue's army here is also being cleaned on up, so it looks like this town center will be going down. Over here, just all Sarks being annoying, being home wreckers. Blue has a number of villagers up here, collecting up gold, which could be intercepted. And Blue does resign. Hard to say if Blue should have resigned there. Gray was not in an extremely stable position. It looks like Blue did decide, alright, resign, had a much smaller military force in field, though had a large number of civilians. But either way, it's Gray saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay.